everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Living the Florida Lifestyle. And as always, I'm Patricia Baker, and with me is my co-host, Michael Baker. Mike, say hello.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. And we're excited to be back with yet another packed episode for you today.
Yeah, and this is sort of an exciting one. If you are here, you have noticed we have traffic. But we're going to talk about the traffic, and we're also going to talk about some of the exciting things. We're coming into spring. I know you're 6 feet under snow and you're 54 degrees below zero, but we're not. We're coming into the 70s, 80s now, so summer is on its way, and springtime is when the birds come out, all the recreation comes out. In fact, there's even a boat race this weekend. Mike's going to tell you all about that.
And of course, we're going to be bringing you the latest updates on Florida's real estate market right here in the Sarasota market and what's happening with home prices. Is it still a seller's market? We've got the inside scoop for you.
That's right. And you can watch it. Actually, if you go on my website, which is patriciabaker.remax.com, I have the builders on it. And if you want to decorate your house, all you have to do is click on it and you can go through all of the model homes of all the builders. Some of the builders have taken themselves off of this, but that's fine. There are plenty of homes up there. So it gives you an idea of the type of homes that are available on the new homes.
And then the biggest attraction and the biggest event happening next weekend, not this weekend, Bradenton River Regatta. We're going to talk about why this event is such a big deal and what to expect and how many people show up for it and what kind of an economic impact it has in our local economy here. And as always, we're going to talk about the housing market. It's going to be a great episode, Mom.
Well, let's get started. First, I'm going to talk about traffic. Oh, my heavens. There are days that there is no traffic because it's just stopped. But we had that problem I live out here in the Parish area, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, 75 going south was stopped out of Parish, and it stayed stopped all the way through to 9 o'clock. I mean, it was brutal. They were building an extension to the bridge going over at 301. The bridge has opened, and guess what happened? The traffic disappeared. It's 6 o'clock, the cars are moving, the trucks are moving, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, all day long. We don't have a backup now. So even though it's rough in certain periods, and they are widening, 75 is going to be wider all the way up and down. As they're doing it, you really, it's how can we live here? But when it opens up, the traffic really flows. Moccasin Wallow is another road, Moccasin and Buckeye. Moccasin Wallow was a 2-lane road that the only thing living on it was tomatoes, cauliflower, tomatoes, cucumbers. That's all that was there. And my house.
There might have been some cows, too.
There were cows. Well, actually, in Pinellas, in Manatee County, the property appraiser, if you have land, you don't want to pay residential property for it. So they put cows on it. And they move them around. So you have so many cows today. Oops, same cows, they get moved over here. And then the cows get moved over there. So the cows get moving so they don't have to pay as high property taxes until they start digging in the ground. But meanwhile, we were down to 2 lanes. We are now at 4 lanes at various phases. We drive around the orange Bob's barrels. But when that's all finished, it's going to be beautiful. And we're going to be able to get up and down and out and around. But they're putting in homes on Buckeye and on Moccasin Wallow. And both those roads are going to be great. Because we've got a lagoon going in at Sierre, which is it's going to be a 4.5-acre pool that the public's going to want to come see too, as well as those who are living there. So the roads are being built to accommodate the present and the future. The present has to catch up. So don't let the traffic today keep you from buying your house for tomorrow.
I know even south of where you're at down here, 44th Street is going across, the 44th Avenue is going across
Yes.
75. So we're getting another east to west thoroughfare to be able to get east and west. So you're not going to be stuck in Lakewood Ranch with only the University or 70 or 64 to get east and west. So you're going to have 50, 44th as well. So we got a lot more roads picking up and driving through. Yes, you see a lot of barricades. And as we always say, if you see the barricades, be careful. They're working. Let's not scare the workers. We need them to be able to get the jobs done. And that's what we're seeing a lot of people do. And the traffic is there. It's our spring season. This is when we do get a lot. I remember when umpiring, when I was driving through the state of Florida during the spring season, we had to plan for it. So no matter where you're at, there's going to be traffic because, hey, why is there traffic, Mom? Because people love to come here. I mean, it's a great area. We were sitting there, it was 75 degrees, 80 degrees. Out the other night, I was at an event at Lakecombe Park. It was breezy, but we were on short sleeve shirts. As a matter of fact, I just gotten off the phone with a buddy of mine. It was 26 degrees where he's at in New York. So we cannot be too upset with the fact that we've got great traffic. We got a lot of traffic because they're coming here because of our weather. We've got the greatest weather this time of year. I mean, that's kind of what we do. So we're not doing too bad with that.
The beauties of our neighborhood area is all the water. We are built all around water. Beside it, the Gulf of America is right here. We're sitting on the Gulf of America, and we've got bridges going over. So when they do a road expansion, it's not just putting an extra lane in, it's putting an extra lane in the bridge. And that's an interesting thing to watch, but it's not so pleasant while they're doing it. But they're doing it. They're doing a great job. And I give kudos to the entire crew that's out there on the roads because they're being fought. They're getting the salute. But we love them anyway.
Well, wasn't it a couple weekends ago? They're to offset or to take advantage, or the word I'm looking for is being able to take care of all the people that are coming. They're moving the power box down your road. I mean,
Yeah.
down Mox and Wallow, they're shutting down the highway. They're shutting down the road. I mean, they're talking about a 400-ton box that's being moved, that they got to take the power lines down to be able to move it east and west to get it all the way out there to the power station. That was some crazy stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, it came off out of the river, came up Moccasin Wallow. It could not go under the overpass, which is what 75 goes over Moccasin Wallow. They went down the entrance to 75. And they had to shut down 75. Then they had built a ramp over the median on 75, brought this over the median, took it down, then went up the exit into 20 up to Moccasin Wallow. I mean, they really, and then of course they ran in that the power lines were low, so they had to wait till daylight because they do that at night, but they still shut it down at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think they still have another couple of days to do it. They're doing it, I think, on Wednesdays. And I watched it last week, and they were coming along, but they've got it down now. They've got the power lines lifted, so it's not quite as backlogging as it was.
It
So,
is
Mike,
definitely an
what's going
interesting
on?
sight, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, what's going on in the neighborhood this week?
Well, one of the things, I mean, we just got the updates for what's happened in January, the housing market. And here in our area between Sarasota and Manatee County, we've seen a decrease in the average selling price of houses. We're down at 515,000. We're looking at in Sarasota County, and here in Manatee County, we're at 460,000, which is down about 8 to 10% over a year ago. One of the things I want to talk about, one thing that stood out to me, is the amount of days they're staying on the market. We're upwards of 75 to 80 days. Now, we've experienced that as listing agents. We've seen them as high as 6 months or longer, or we did have that property out there off of 62 stay out almost 2 years.
It is, yeah.
So if you're looking at a house in our area and you're seeing it on the market for more than 4 or 5, 6 months, don't get upset about it. Those are becoming our norm. We're no longer probably a seller's market. We're a market that's more balanced, and we're looking for more opportunity where you can negotiate and get your price maybe worked in, maybe get some concessions from the seller to help offset some costs. So there's a lot of things that's why Mom and I are a good team to work with, because hey, we know how to negotiate, don't we? Like, isn't that what you've been doing all morning?
Yes. And actually, it's interesting because I have two contracts working right now. One has been on the market maybe 90 days, and the other one has been, I don't even remember which house it is. It's been on 6 months anyway. And both of them have been being worked and we're negotiating. And it's interesting when some of the people say, "What's wrong with the house? It's been on 6 months." My answer is nobody's bought it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these houses. We've just had a very slow market. But we did sell a house this week, which I think I loved. It brought back wonderful memories. We had the client list it. It was the listing package was on my lap. And I put the sign up in the yard mainly because when you've had houses on the market for 6 months, you know it's going to take them 3 months to even know the house is there. Before I was home, I had a contract on the house. So I've said, oh, maybe those days are coming back. So that's one that we have already executed, and we are just going on our way to closing. So there's
It's taken a little bit of work, some phone calls and emails back and forth, but hey, that's the joy of what we do is we get a chance to negotiate and work deals out. We're helping sellers move a house. And we're helping buyers find the right property. So I mean that's kind of what we do.
right. Well, what they move here, Mike, what can they do this weekend? I know we can go to the polo grounds. I know we can go to the ball game next week or this week. There are ball games every place. You can go to, there's so much happening around this area. As I said, it's springtime, and that's when everybody gets their calendar out because there's so much to do.
Well, I want to talk about tonight. Actually, this weekend is the Pirates have their festival this evening down by the river, which there's a lot of stuff happening because we do have spring training getting ready to start up here. We talked last week about pitchers and catchers reporting. I went out to the ballpark the other day for the Manatee Chamber event where we welcome the chamber welcomes the Pirates back, and so that was the other night. So we're getting ready, and this weekend is when they have their party downtown and getting everybody excited about the season starting. And that's always the fun part. We do know that's why people are in town. So that's involved. Other thing, but the thing I want to talk about is the Bradenton River Regatta. That's next weekend, and that's kind of fun. That's something. And I did some research on this thing. I didn't realize how much it really impacted. You know, we get about 100,000 visitors strictly for the regatta that come here to Bradenton downtown. They go out there and watch the races. It's Friday night and it's Saturday. They've got a laser show. They've got fireworks. And then they got these little sprint boats that just get out there and run around. It generates close to $10-12 million just for the one weekend here in our area. And Mom, you've been out there before. Those are loud little machines, aren't they?
They are fun. Yes, and they can't cross over the Green Bridge. The Green Bridge is closed down that weekend. But you go around, and the Riverwalk, it's a great place. Bradenton has done itself proud on the Riverwalk because you can walk all along the river. You can watch what's going on. There are food trucks out there. The restaurants are out there. The bars are open. Children are playing. There's the not rink. It's this thing that the bowl, they run there down the round. I don't do that. I think I'd break my other hip. So, but there's so much, and of course, it's the perfect time of the year. But with 100,000 people here in town, you know what? Someone's going to buy a house. So if you are looking to sell your home, there's someone here coming to town who's going to want to buy it. So give us a call because this is the time of the year that you need to put your home on the market because this is when they really start to sell down here. When you get people, that's who we sell to. And, they're here, they see the weather, their car is loaded with snowsuits and boots, and now they're going to the beach. And they realize what a great lifestyle this is. So from the Florida Lifestyle Group, we just say, give us a call. Let us put your house on. There's somebody coming down who wants your house.
Absolutely. And when you do come down, give us a call to go look for that house because we do have listings. I mean, our inventory in our area is climbing. We're looking at 7 months of inventory, which is a great marketplace. Great, a lot of homes that are available to go out and look at. We've got obviously some homes that were affected by the hurricanes, but we've also got homes that weren't touched. They just got some rain on the roof and they're ready for sale. So whether you're buying or renting now, there are rentals available in our marketplace. The rental price in our averages is gone up a little bit, but the idea is we've got places for you to stay, places for you to find home. Come down here, enjoy our weather, enjoy the opportunities that we present here, and we'll take good care of you. We promise.
Well, and I want you to know we have a new duplex coming on the market. It's actually in Bradenton Beach. It's a buying the right side of the duplex, and we've just split it so that it could be split out from the other side. It's a two-story so that the car goes underneath. There was no flooding. And if you can be on the beach and say there was no flooding right on the beach. So you can just walk down, throw your towel over your shoulder, walk down the end of the street and jump into the Gulf of America. So it's just, great thing. I haven't even put a price on it yet. So probably in the 600, 700, but what a rental that will be. So if you're an investor and you're looking for something to invest in, give us a call. New things are coming on. We have another one which is just down the road, a little bit further. That did have we'll say the Gulf of Mexico went and visited it because the Gulf of America is not going to do that. So the Gulf of Mexico went through, but it's all been redone. The whole HOA has done it. The house has been fixed up. Everything's been painted, all new appliances. Everything is new in that one. And that's getting ready to come back on the market as well. So we've got 2 properties right now on the beach that investors, give us a call. You'll love these properties.
Absolutely. They're great. And they're great locations. They're great to be able to rent out and be able to show off. And because people do love, obviously, with our weather, people love coming here. And if
Right.
you've got an investment property that you want to be able to rent out, those are perfect. I want to ask you a question. I mean, it's been one of those things. We've getting questions about who we are, what we do. And you're wearing a shirt today talking about Brazil. You've been a real estate agent here in this area for almost a little over 20 years.
Yes.
What made you want to become a realtor? And tell me a little bit where real estate and being a realtor has taken you around the world. Because I know you've traveled quite a bit.
Well, it really has. Of course, I went with Remax because Remax is an international. And so when we go to conventions, we get to meet people from all over the world. So one of my years that I went to the R4 convention in Vegas, I met this girl from Brazil. She lived in Orlando. And while we were at the international section, she said, let's go to Brazil. I go, sure, why not? Next thing I know, within 2 months, I first had to get my visa. We flew down to Brazil and we went to the Remax convention in Brazil. And I even had the little earpiece on so I could understand because they speak Portuguese and I don't speak Portuguese. And in fact, a funny story, I was in a taxi and I was at the hotel, and I even forget the name, so it won't be any funny. Anyway, I was pronouncing it in English and he was pronouncing it in Brazilian, and they didn't sound like the same place. And so I had to show him a picture of the hotel and he went, oh, yes. And he drove me there. So anyway, we went to Brazil and we spent a week in Rio. Her mother happened to have been a property manager and she gave us a place. So we had a wonderful week in Rio, going up to the mountains and swimming on the beach. And that's an experience in itself. And then one day I got a notice in my computer that said, you want to go to Cuba? If the Florida realtors were going, or national realtors were going. I hit yes. I didn't even know what I was saying yes to. And off a bunch of realtors flew out down to Cuba, and we were taken around Cuba by the architects. We found a lot of what they're going to be doing to the buildings, and everything's rusted out completely. All the rebar is gone, but they're keeping the front facades and building buildings behind, and then they're attaching the old buildings to the front of the new buildings. So we had a great time down there. Then I got a phone call that you want to go to Dubai. Well, there were 300 of us that hopped on an airplane and flew to Dubai. I've been back 3 other times. I love Dubai. I just think it's fabulous. I understand the Russians are taking over though, so I may not like it as much. Sorry about that, Russia. But It's just actually it's very interesting. I had the best Jewish sandwich there. The Jewish people are there. It's a Muslim country. They welcome the Jewish people, and it's a. I think that's what you feel. You feel very economical, whatever that word is, and but you really feel very comfortable there, no matter who you are, white, black, Muslim, Christian, Jewish. Everybody's getting together and being very friendly together. So it's really a great place to visit.
Well,
And the
didn't you
architect,
go off and get licensed? Didn't you all go off and get licensed in a couple of
yes,
other countries?
they took us through and they got us. So we got our Dubai real estate license. And so if you're interested in buying something in Dubai, actually you can get a condo over there, a 1-bedroom condo for about 225 American dollars, and they'll rent it for you. You don't. It is 19 hours away by plane. And I was just talking to the girl the other day. She said, "Why don't you buy one this year?" And I go, if it wasn't 19 hours by an airplane, it's just a long flight, but it's worth it when you get there. So where else have I been? I've been to the Canadian, I've been to the West Canada, I've been to the Toronto, I've been
Didn't you
up
go
to
to
there.
Amsterdam?
I went to Amsterdam. See, I forget where I've been. Went to the Amsterdam. I was the only American at the Amsterdam Remax convention. And I met the people there. I met the girls from where Melania is from, and they're all beautiful. I said, "What is it? You're all beautiful women." They really were. Had a great time over there, and you really get when I go by for the conventions. It's a way to meet people. You're not just standing there by yourself. You're going out for dinner. At one table, we had a guy from Switzerland. We had someone from Israel and me. We're sitting at the same table talking, and the one guy was been behind the Iron Curtain. So what a historical experiences! And I have become and stayed friends with my friend in Israel. And when I was just over in Israel, I called him up, and he came into Jerusalem, and we toured Jerusalem together. And of course, now I get his updates. And I think the saddest one is I got when the two prisoners were just released and how emaciated they were. They did not know that their wives had been killed until they came back in. So it's a rough time over there now. And we pray this Saturday. By the time you get this, I think we might be at the Saturday meeting, and we just pray that this Saturday that the prisoners will be released and that this whole thing can get over with. But anyway, they're living in it. But I think the most unique thing is the bombs are dropping. They were dropping when we were there. We were actually on the beach, and we heard this boom, and we thought it was thunder. And they said, "No, that's the bombs." And so we ran out on the beach to watch them, and we watched the bombs coming in, and then we watched the Iron Lady go up and grab it and blow it up. Quite an experience. And someone said, "Oh, but what about all the debris?" Hey, I'll take bomb debris over a bomb any day. So we went to the airport that night, and you know the little yellow signs that say wet floor? Well, there's say bomb shelter with an arrow. So it was quite an experience, something that we in America thankfully don't have to deal with. But when you deal with the bombs coming in, but guess what? My Jewish friend is selling condos right now in the midst of the war. So what's happening? Why are you not buying a house for me here? I don't have any bombs dropping. We're having a great time in America. So come on in. Let's buy. Let's show the Israelis that we too can sell homes at this time of the year.
Yeah, that's the joy of being with Remax. It's no matter where you are in the world, there's a Remax agent pretty much that we work with. So if you want to move someplace like Israel or Dubai or anybody else, we can help you hook you up with there. But if you want to come here, they could send you here to us as well. So we do love the fact that we live in a great area and we work for a great company with Remax. So, yeah, so if you're out there looking around for a place to live, give us a call. We're here for you. And if you're on here still, and we appreciate it, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, like us, share us, tell your friends about us. If we've got a listing that you don't maybe quite right for you, maybe it is quite right for one of your friends or family. So give us a call. Check out our website. All of our information is down below in the comment section. Both of our websites are fully activated with all the listings, not only ones of ours, but anywhere in the area. So we can help you out no matter where you're looking or what you're looking for. Just give us your criteria, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Yeah, and if you'd like us to talk about something in particular, we live here, so we take things for granted. What do you need to do? One of the things that you do need to do when you move here is have your will updated. Take look at your finances because Florida law is different than Mississippi or Massachusetts. It's different than all 50 states and our 51st state of Canada. So you need to very first thing because I just had a case where somebody didn't bother to do a will, and their neighbors called me and said, "What are we going to do? She has passed away, and she has no will and no family and no nothing." And luckily, we did find a brother that she hadn't talked to for years. But otherwise, if you were in that state and had no will, and the state of Florida would be your heirs and not your friends, and they would have taken her condo and all of her finances and her stocks and her bonds. So that's the thing to do when you first move here. Take a time. We'll be glad to introduce you to one of the attorneys that does it. We do not do that, but we'll tell you how you need to do it. Get yourself so your family doesn't have to go through the headaches.
Well,
So
I just was given a name of a friend of a friend. She was living with a gentleman. They've lived together for years, never got married. He had no children, he had no other family. He passed away in the middle of the night. He owned the house, not in her name. She can't sell it, she can't do anything with it, and eventually she's going to have to move out of it because she has no rights to it at this point in time, unfortunately.
state
So
of Florida will
that's one of
take
those things. State of Florida will come in and take it from you because you got to preserve your future by taking care of the now. And so we're going to invite in a trust attorney who can discuss that and ask questions for us. So that'll be coming up over the next few weeks. We've also want to talk about, we've got a home inspector going to be coming on and talking about what they look for and some of the funny stories. I've talked to him a couple of times. Some of the funny stories he's seen at home inspections. I mean, you open the door up, you never know what you're going to find sometimes. But hey, we appreciate you all being here for this week. We look forward to next week again. Mom, any closing comments? Hey, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm doing something very interesting. I'm actually going to go sit at Sea Air, which is one of our the builders, and I'm going to sit at the one of the properties. My sign will be up, and I think Mike is doing it too. They have opened it up to realtors. They don't have enough to help, and so we're actually going to go in and sell new homes this week. So if you're interested in taking a look at any of the properties in Sea Air, we can take you to everything in there. Give us a call, may set up an appointment with us. Let's go through those homes and let me show you. Remember, I care about you. And I know that if the other realtors are listening, the ones who work there, they say, we care too. But they don't have the opportunity to meet you and know what you're really, really interested in, really what you need. I mean, I had one person who was in a wheelchair and she loved this house. And I said, there's stairs. Well, I'll get around that. I go, no, you won't. And the age that she had already gone in there, and they were talking her into buying that. And well, you could come live down here. You could make this. No, there's plenty of houses, and over in Sierra, at the Dream Homes, I think is what they're called. They actually have a townhome with the master bedroom downstairs. So come on out and visit the Baker team, Baker Global team. We'll be at the Sierra. I don't even remember where we are, but it's the first right, and you'll follow our signs. It's going to
There
be
you go.
interesting.
Sounds like we've got a full weekend ahead of us. Well, thanks, everybody. You have a great week. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Have a great time. See you at church.